Welcome to Dig Deep, the mining podcast. In this podcast, we go deep into mining news, hot topics, and live interviews with mining professionals and leading figures in the mining industry. Introducing your host, Rob Tyson, founder and director of Mining International and Mining International Executive, a leading global mining recruitment and headhunting agency.
Hi mining community, welcome back to another episode of the Dig Deep, the mining podcast. And today's guest is Gordana Slepcev, who's the COO of Lomiko Metals, who are a listed Canadian company with a vision to create a new energy future in line with Quebec's plan for development of critical and strategic minerals in the region. The company has a graphite and lithium project in Quebec, which we'll discuss shortly. Gordana is a professional mine engineer with over 25 years global mining experience in developing, building and leading safe mining operations, and brings considerable experience in mineral exploration, permitting, corporate and regulatory First Nations and industrial relations, plus project financing to the company. We're going to discuss the recent updates that the company have recently announced, and some of the latest news coming out of Quebec. Hi, Gordana. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you for the invite. I'm very happy to be here and very excited to share the news about the grant that we received from U.S. DoD Title III, $8.35 million, and also the grant from the federal government for pilot planting at $4.9 million.
Great. So we always start these podcasts off by introducing the guests. So I wondered if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, about your career. As I mentioned, you've been in the industry for a long time now. Just wondered if you can just tell us about your career so the audience knows a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I'm born and raised in Serbia. My husband and I became to Canada in 2003, and we really worked even in Serbia in the mining, and I was born in the mining town, so I could see the firsthand the benefits that the mining brings to the community, and really that influx of the knowledge and the skills and everything else that help that community and the region grow. So really I'm very pro mining. That's why I went into the mining school, and I've been working in the mining ever since. So we all say, it's a kind of old saying, if it's not grown, it's mined, and the mining shaped human development from the Iron and Bronze Ages and ever since. So reality is we need all these materials to have the future we have today. Even this broadcast wouldn't happen without the mining and the minerals that we need to build all these equipment and the devices that we use every day. So very vast experience all across commodities, industrial minerals, gold, and I really love mining and support that. And of course, it is done. It has to be done in sustainable way. So that's a big thing that everybody's realizing now. Mining is not what people think or was 100 years ago, picturing the guy with a pick. It's a really different industry nowadays. It's very technology heavy and very much digitized, and AI and autonomous vehicles been used there for many years now.
So I just wondered if you can tell us a little bit about Lomiko and a little bit about the projects that you're currently working on.
So our flagship property, Luther, it is developed to that point that we're now halfway through the pre-feasibility study. So we did the considerable drilling program, 13,000 meters in 2022, and we have updated resource last year. So we've been, categorized by the Mining Intelligence and Mining.com as the 7th biggest graphite deposit worldwide. So it's a big achievement for us. We've really grown that deposit and added almost 200% to the measured and indicated category, now having almost 3 million tons of the in situ indicated resources And we also have added about 700,000 tons of the in situ inferred resource. So that's really the backbone of the deposit. But also we have done all the battery trials through the labs and have proven actually that we can transform that graphite ore into the battery grade material. We have also acquired 7 earlier stage properties as we want to build that pipeline of the assets in southern Quebec. And also we have 1 earlier stage lithium property, which we are also developing as we go. But as you can imagine, the focus is on the most mature asset, which is La Loutre.
And obviously with the graphite that you're looking to produce, what is that actually going to be used for? And I suppose within the Quebec region?
Yes, so the properties are in southern Quebec. And there are many uses for graphite, some industrial and old uses since people kind of understood the material for lubrications been used in the pencils. That's very well known uses. And then in the electrical industry, brushes, in nuclear as a isolator. And lately, the biggest use really for the graphite is in batteries. So the graphite has to be processed to the certain level to meet the battery requirements, and all these consumer electronics like computers, cell phones, that they all need graphite. And something people may not know is the graphite is also used in the acid batteries that are used in internal combustion engines as well. So many industrial uses, some less refined, meaning, need more processing. But at the end of the day, the EVs and electrification is here. That's my personal belief, and it's there to stay. And that market grows 30 to 40% per year. So it's a significant growth.
What are the battery grade graphite characteristics that obviously you're going to produce, and obviously how is it produced?
Yeah, so the regular graphite comes in different grades, and it's usually produced plus 94% carbon content. And, so then it's further purified to meet the battery grade, which is plus 99 plus 95% carbon content. There is a little bit of impurity that are allowed, but also there are certain limits on metals and silica and aluminum in these batteries. So that's done through the process that you usually micronize your product, you spheronize it, make all these little spheres so they can actually compact better and actually increase that energy density. And then that material is purified. So there are three ways that you usually can purify it. It's alkaline bake, or acid purification, or thermal purification. Also, it could be combination of some of these methods as well. So it is more of the manufacturing and industrial process that takes over. It needs really specialized workforce, and it's energy demanding. So usually, even in Quebec, there is a Vancouver and some other industrial hubs that most of these processing facility would be located, and it's kind of similar all over the world. So,
and what kind of metallurgical testing have you completed so far?
So we have finished, pre-feasibility level metallurgical testing programs, and we have optimized our flow sheet. So that's for the production of the flake graphite. And the graphite usually comes in different flake sizes or the grades. And for the batteries, I usually use smaller flakes minus 100 mesh. So we have completed testing on all these different grades because we're intending, of course, to target different markets and diversify the sales. But talking about just the metallurgical testing on the flotation, We have achieved really extremely high grades, 99.1% carbon content reconciled, and very high recoveries, 94.7%. So we use those flakes, and we went through that very same process that spherical graphite or BAM battery anode material is going through, meaning purification, micronization, spheronization, and then coating. And then that coating material, which is if you can imagine, those little spheres are then used to create batteries. So we did the work with Polaris down in the US. So we did half a coin cells. And this is just to confirm the graphite characteristics. And these tests, of course, proved successful, and we were exceeding the industry standards. And then we did the pouch cells. As you can imagine, those are, square cells when you use also anode and the cathode and the separator. So this actually kind of simulates the real setting that one anode would have in a battery setting. And we also have surpassed the industry standards. So we're really happy to demonstrate that we can take that rock and we can turn it into the anode material. And also we have done some work with some research institutions, and we have also received excellent results using thermal purification. So quite a bit of the work. And that doesn't, of course, stop. There's other works and the increased scale of the testing that we're going through now.
I wonder if you can just give us a quick update on your lithium project.
So our lithium project, we have completed the 3 years of the studies and the testing. We have outlined about 2.5 kilometer zone, anomalous zone in lithium, tantalum, and cesium. At this point, we have earned 49% ownership. So this property was optioned from Critical Elements Lithium Corporation. And at this point, we actually put everything else more or less on pause, including the lithium asset and other graphite properties, as basically with this grant, we're really focusing on the graphite and developing that project.
Obviously, as you mentioned in the introduction, you've just recently received some grants. So I just wonder if you can just tell us the significance of the DoD Title III grant.
So it's really huge for us. This is actually the first time that DoD actually awarded a grant to the company that's such early in the project development. So as I mentioned, we're halfway through the pre-feasibility study, so we haven't even finished pre-feas yet, and we have received this grant. And this grant is really to cover the works on pre-feasibility, baseline testing, feasibility, and all the metallurgical testing, including some increased bulk sample testing as well. So that's really huge. That actually helps us out to the point that we're able to make construction decisions. So it de-risks the entire project. It provides non-equity. So this is actually the money that we get from the U.S. government to develop these studies and really understand that process and, engineer it to the details.
And I suppose why do you think that you've actually received the grant? Was there anything in particular that you specially done to receive the grant?
I guess our white paper and our proposal was really something that it appealed to the U.S. government. And also, this is really significant size deposit. As I mentioned, it's classified the 7th biggest in the world. And I think it's a right move to secure these supplies for the North American markets, as honestly, China dominates graphite manufacturing. And, from the geopolitical standpoint, we need all these graphite to decarbonize. And there are many, many plants that are being built in North America that actually require graphite. And there are no many producers. There is only one smaller producers in Canada. There is a graphite one that's developing deposit, Nouveau Monde, and Syrah's building some of the facilities down in US. But even with all of that, that's still not enough to satisfy North American needs for graphite and the batteries for electric vehicles. And where is a graphite to be used in, electronics and energy storage devices and that kind of stuff, let alone the industrial applications. So we need quite a bit of the graphite, and based on different projections, different groups, we're looking 8 to 12 million tons by 2040. So that's a huge production. It has to come from somewhere.
What work is the CRODD2 federal grant actually covering?
So the federal government program is to help us out develop our pilot planting capabilities. So really take that graphite from the rock and turn it into coated spherical graphite into the anode material. So help us out do this work that we've done so far, actually on the bigger scale. So far we started with 700 kilograms, and we tested some of that through the CSVG process, and now we're going to start with 200 tons. So actually producing more material that we're going to use also to supply to some OEMs and downstreams for testing.
Wondered if you can obviously just give us a quick update, an overview of the mining landscape in Quebec, and if there's any sort of latest news that our audience would be interested in.
Yes, Quebec is a really great province to work in, Canada also. But, we're really happy there that they have their critical mineral strategy. They have developed that. And as I mentioned, they've been developing that hub in Bécancour. There's some other companies that are further along the way. But, of course, they've been there doing this for quite a bit longer. Of course, we're very proud with what we have achieved so far as a team. We joined in late 2021, and we developed this project quite a bit, grew the resource base, and also did all these metallurgical testing to prove that we can actually produce anode-grade material. So, within that context, there is one producer, Northern Graphite, that's producing smaller quantities of the material. There is a Nouveau Monde that's actually quite further ahead than us, and they're there in detail engineering now, and they actually sold about 80% of their production to GM and Panasonic. So with that in mind, one has to wonder what are all the other OEMs going to do. And there are 3 factories also being built down in Ontario, let alone what's going on in US. So there would be a lot of need for the graphite for the EVs in North America.
We sometimes obviously have investors listening to our podcasts, and I know investors always look at obviously the deposits, the management team of each company. Just wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about the management team.
Yeah, I'm really happy to say that we came together as a management team, myself, Vince, and Belinda, even before we become part of the Lomiko. We all worked, myself and Belinda, in the gold and precious metals for many years. Both met in Newfoundland on some of these engagements done by the minister at the time, Shigo Bankudi, which is a great lady and entrepreneur. And we stay in touch. And Vince, our CFO, he came from the retail industry. So we all had the production experience, and we wanted to kind of focus on some of the critical minerals. And there was a match made with Mr. Paul Gill, who was the CEO and the chairman at the time, and he was looking to actually get the team to help out develop La Luther property. And, we're proud to be part of that team. And most recently, we have added up Cindy Valance, who comes from Sayona, with really extensive experience in social and ESG. So we're really happy with that new addition and looking forward to working more with her.
And lastly, what's the outlook for the next 6 to 12 months for Lomiko?
So we're looking to, of course, raise the money. And just to remind this, DoD grants provide 50% of all the funds we need to develop La Luther to the production decision. So pre-feasibility, all the baseline studies, metallurgical testing, and feasibility. So we actually have to raise the matching funds. Of course, we're not going to be raising all of that money right away because DoD mandate is to finish all these works within 5 years. We, of course, hope to finish that somewhere about 3, maybe 3.5, 4 years sooner, so we can develop actually this project much faster. And something that's in addition to that is 75% contribution from the federal government. So Lomiko needs to raise 25% of the funds, about 1.7 million, to actually finish that piloting over 3 years. So, it's a lot of work ahead of us, but we've done that before. This team built and developed the projects. I always worked in operation. I was prior to joining Lomiko, CEO of the Barcan, and then Anaconda Mining or Signal Gold now. And as I said, I've been in the mining all my life. So my goal when joining this team was actually to build this project and, help really decarbonize Canadian and Quebec landscape and use our graphite here in Quebec, Canada, and North America to decarbonize this part of the world.
Thank you, Gordana. Appreciate your time in giving us an update on Lomiko Metals. If our audience wants to reach out to you, I wondered how they can go about doing that. If they want to follow Lomiko's story, what social media channels, platforms is the company on and yourself?
Yeah, so we're easy to reach over LinkedIn or through our website. We always provide the updates there as well, and using info@lomiko.com. So as I said, we always prize ourselves on being responsive within 48 hours from any inquiry. And we're happy to answer any questions or present to any existing or possible, future investors. So we're here to develop this project into operation. This is our goal, and that's what we are set to do.
Great. Well, all the best for the remainder of the year. And perhaps you want to come on next year and give us an update on both, obviously, the projects and obviously how the grant money has been spent and the results achieved.
Yes, I would be very happy, or anyone from our team, to come back and kind of provide the update on the Lomiko and the work we've done so far. And thank you very much for this opportunity to talk about Lomiko.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that episode. As always, really appreciate your continued support. Please keep sharing these episodes far and wide. Obviously, Gordana's from Canada, so obviously share. All our Canadian listeners, please share this episode amongst yourselves, but also across the world as well, wherever you're listening from. As always, really appreciate your continued support. And until next time, happy mining.
Thank you for listening. Remember to reach out to Rob via the show notes and be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, happy mining, helping each other to improve the mining industry.